like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Is there anybody there?
Don't answer that.
What do we know about vampires?
Isn't there some sort of rule that they can't come inside unless they're invited?
That ain't gonna work.
And not a single one looks like Jason Patrick.
Everyone all right?
Can you repeat the question? I couldn't hear you over the knives.
Hi, Donny Mirasu here. We have first episode for the Queer Horror Junkie. Releasing this on Easter for reasons, but first one I decided to tackle was the Carpenter's Son from last year, 2025, starring Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage has been on this fabulous horror movie kick for the last few years. He's hit and miss for me personally as an actor, but I was willing to give it a shot because I like what he's been doing lately. The last few years, I loved Longlegs. That blew me away, and I was like, let's give it a shot. I am not particularly a fan of religious horror, which this definitely was. I mean, I love a good possession, exorcist movie, that kind of thing, but this was definitely the more religious horror end. I see why it was controversial, because it straight up is doing some of the apocryphal texts. I don't remember which one specifically, but so these are the non-canon stories of Jesus, and it's kind of hinted at that the teenager is Jesus through the whole thing, and I'll be really honest, it really felt like this could have come out in the 50s or 60s and probably done a hell of a lot better than it did coming out last year. I believe somewhere within the Christmas season, I'm not sure exactly. But I think it probably would have done a whole lot better because it felt like, those biblical movies that were, really popular then. I mean, it just, the way it was set up, the way the story moved, the creep angle was actually surprisingly good. I wouldn't say any of it was acted well. Was it beautiful? Absolutely. Was it worth seeing? I don't know. I really don't know if it was fully worth the time. The teenager that played the devil or Satan, however you want to describe it, I think according to IMDb he's marked as the stranger. They were fabulous. I don't know how they identify any of that kind of stuff. They seemed very gender non-conforming and definitely went with that. I will say that one of the things I was actually really kind of surprised at was they had a fight scene between the teenagers, and it looked like two teenage boys, the 13-year-olds when they get into a brawl, how it looks. It seemed believable what they were doing, and I hadn't seen a fight that looked that believable in a long time. So, a couple of just notes here. Our body count, at least my tally. Yeah, I have, a little notebook here. Sorry on the lighting. Still getting that down. But we've got a body count of 22, which was a whole lot more than I expected for a religious horror movie. As for style of horror, definitely folk and religious. Triggers to look out for, which is something that we're definitely going to be doing, is going over triggers, because not everybody can watch all this stuff, And I appreciate, I can respect that. Your triggers, notebook, is child death, religious trauma, which I know a lot of us queer people really do have. Bullying, domestic abuse, animal death, and harm. For me, this was a 6 out of 10. I would say it's a solid 6. So where it was okay, nothing really happened for the first hour plus. It's only like an hour and a half long movie. It's not exactly good. We'll do a moment and talk to the cat, and he will give you his opinion too. Hey, dude. Yeah? So what you think? What'd you think? Oh, what a big sigh. Yeah. It was a sigh. I wouldn't say it was a hiss. It was a sigh. Yeah. He's a good boy. He's a good boy, yeah?